and
Studio.
he goes on the talk back and he goes, "Oh, guys, uh, Alan is here. Let's take a break." I'm like, holy shit. So he greets me, gives me a hug. I mean, it's the first time I meet the guy.
That's awesome.
And he goes, yeah, we're starting to work on some songs. Do you want to hear some of them? Like, what the fuck am I gonna say? No, I got lunch in an hour.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I said that, well, of course I'd like to hear. And so Jamie walks into the studio, and they were tracking drums and percussion. And it was Jamie Hadan and this other percussionist from France whom I didn't know, and Steve Gadd playing drums. And to this day, I still remember that Jamie walks in, gives me a big hug. I said, "Man, I'm so glad you can make it." And then he introduces me to Steve Shahan, the other percussionist. And Steve happened to know some work I had done and was a fan. So, man, like he says a few things in French to me. And then, in walks Steve Gadd, and Paul goes, and of course, Steve Gadd, right? Now, let's put it in perspective. In my mid to late teens, Steve Gadd was on half of the records that I listened to.
Sure.
Jazz and pop records.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. I mean,
I know.
Benson, Chick Corea, Chet Baker, I mean, you name it. He was on everything. Rickety Jones. I mean, he was on everything.
Yes.
So there's this moment of panic, and I'm suddenly in the studio with Paul Simon and Steve Gadd. So I went.
And how old are you?
Oh, I was already. So I was in the pot. I was already. Let's see. It was 99, so I was 37. But there was. So, well, I'll get back to that. But so the funny thing was like, so Paul goes in, and of course, Steve, as if like, we hung out, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, sup, Steve. And then I went like, did I just say sup, Steve? And then Steve was like super cool anyway, but I kind of like acted like I was one of the boys, I didn't even belong in the same city, let alone the same room. But it was that moment.